Hey, what's up, guys? Making a lot of videos these days on boxing theory and practice, how to get better, especially when you're like a beginner slash novice boxer and you want to take it up a notch to intermediate. But even some of this advice is even good for intermediate boxers as well, to kind of refine your game, so to speak. And the major one I'm going to talk about today is you got to train your non-dominant arm, or I like to call your gimp arm, which for a lot of people is going to be their lead arm. For example, throwing jabs. But the main one I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about a few, but the lead hook is going to be of great major importance if you want to take your game up a solid notch or two or three, because that lead hook is one that will do a lot of damage, and it's super quick because you're already halfway there. It's the one that's in front, closer to your opponent, as well as one that you can slip through their defense a lot of ways, in which both doing a body shot, like doing a liver shot, which is going to potentially be very devastating, or finish your opponent off totally. So I'll get right to it, which is obviously when you're learning how to box, you're going to learn how to box with both arms. But I'm going to explain in this video why you should be training your non-dominant arm more than even your dominant arm, okay? I'm not saying you don't train your dominant arm at all by throwing straights and such. Learn how to throw a proper straight, but say that you're already at the point where you can't throw a proper straight. What I recommend is going to something like a combo bag, which is a bag that's against the wall, and orient yourself. Say you're orthodox, right? Orient yourself a little on an angle to the bag, to the right of the bag, okay? So you're like your shoulder is pretty much almost against the wall. What you're gonna do is just orient yourself in that position and throw nothing but hooks. Hook to the head, hook to the body, for 3-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds, and literally that's how I start my training. Like a lot of people, they start with jump rope and then shadow boxing. I might do a bit of jump rope, but I recommend just going right to that combo bag and throwing them hooks. Here, I'm just getting my car for a sec. Okay, because you want to train your non-dominant arm a little bit more initially than your dominant arm, because there's some catching up to do. That non-dominant arm is, like I said, the gimp arm, or like a retard arm. sort of say something that's a bit politically correct, but that's what it is. It's one that you don't use. Like, for example, I play baseball. I could throw a baseball or a football like really well, right? But if I tried to throw it with my left hand, I'd throw it like an old lady or something, or like a 12-year-old girl. So it wouldn't work so well. But so that's why. But in boxing, you don't just throw with one arm, you throw with both arms. So it's important to get that non-dominant arm up to speed, so to speak. And the quicker you can do that, the better you'll be really quickly. Especially when you go into the ring and you start sparring. And then with that lead arm, you're able to throw them hooks, throw proper jabs, etc., etc. Lead uppercuts even. Then, first of all, it's just the mind. It's not even like that arm is any weaker than the other one, right? Like, there might be slight weakness because you might use your right arm a little bit more, granted. But generally, say we're generally proportionate, okay, on bilateral like sides. It's the mind-body connection that needs to be trained. Like, it's just like the mind, for whatever reason, I think it's like the left hemisphere of your brain goes to your right side of your body, and your right hemisphere goes to your left side of your body, wherever the motor cortex is and whatever else, right? Sensory cortex. So like, it's just about establishing that connection, because if we're so right-hand dominant, our brain, there's like these pathways that are ingrained in the brain and nervous system. That is like, because you might have played baseball your whole life, right? And baseball isn't so much ambidextrous unless you're a switch hitter or something, right? You generally pick a side and you work with that side, or tennis or golf. It's like somebody who's playing golf doesn't approach the green and then just pull out a pitching wedge or something and then switch hit. It's like it's just one side, right? Well, in boxing, even though your stance might be one side, although you might switch that up on occasion to southpaw, you have to use your left arm, and it's just there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, and especially against a weaker / opponent who does use their dominant arm, which is going to be the right. Granted, they're orthodox. that lead arm is going to be able to counter that well, because they might telegraph that rear punch a little bit more. They might be throwing more wild rear hooks and things, flailing their arms and things, where you can come right down the middle or do a nice quick hook, right? That's going to be super quick and get them before they get you. So essentially, so that's kind of the theory that I wanted to get across, okay? And you can watch, if you watch a lot of boxing matches, you'll see a lot of people who can throw lead hooks very well. My coach is one of them. He was one of my coaches. I have two, my brothers. One of them was a professional boxer. He had like a really good record. It was like 40-something wins and like just a handful of losses, okay? He's a smaller guy, so it was like a featherweight or something. Anyway, but he could. So many of his. I watched a lot of his boxing matches from like in the 90s to early 2000s, and he had so many knockouts on guys with that lead hook. It was just lightning fast. It connected on the jaw, and it was because a lot of the time, especially kind of in the later rounds, the other guy got sloppy a bit, and he was a bit of like a pressure fighter. Like he'd come up with this high guard and kind of pressure the guy, and then the guy would be trying to break his guard, and all of a sudden, boom, this lead hook came out of nowhere. It was lightning fast, but you can tell it had some power behind it. For a small guy, he had some power. And one of the reasons why I'm making this video is because this is the exact same thing that they instilled in me, is working on that lead hook. Going to that combo bag. This is what I was taught, and doing many rounds with my coach of just lead hook, lead hook, lead hook, lead hook to the body, lead hook up top, lead hook, lead hook, lead hook. Okay? Until I got pretty darn good at it. Now, so that's the theory and such. And I said how to practice it on the combo bag is going to be one way to do it. Okay? So essentially on the combo bag, what you can do also is like just throw 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 kind of fast. Like doesn't have to be hard, but then just throw that lead hook in there after a 1-2, 1-2. So you can throw it after the twos. For example, that's the 1-2-3, the combo. But you can also do like a 2-1-3, if that makes sense, or a 1-1-3. So I recommend switching it up, the combos of the 1-2 and throwing the 3 in there. And the other thing you can do with the 3 is double it up. So you can double it up, literally just up top a double. So the first one might connect, but it can even be more of a little bit of a throwaway, not necessarily total throwaway. Like you still might throw it, but then the second one's going to come right after it, which is going to be the show-stopping punch right there. The one that's going to put them down potentially. And trust me, like the lead hook is I don't know if you guys have experienced getting hit by one, okay? But I'll tell you one example where I did, sparring with my coach, okay? And I was trying to bait him with by throwing counters, okay? Countering his jab or something along those lines, those lines, okay? Then I was going to counter with a 2, with a straight. Well, I did it a few times, and he kind of read, like, obviously he knew what I was going to do, so he countered my counter with that lead hook, and it got me, like, I felt it, but it didn't look it hurt, and I didn't think it really affected me. Like, it was like boom, okay, and I kept going, but then all of a sudden, like, there was a bit of a delay, but then my legs just turned to jelly. I'm like the wobbly legs you see from somebody who potentially just got knocked out or is about to get knocked out. They're doing the dance, you know what I mean? They're wobbling a bit. I got the leg wobbles, and it was just like affected the equilibrium and balance, right? But it didn't hurt me at all. I didn't think didn't even feel like that hard of a punch. But that's the potentially devastating effect these lead hooks can have if it just connects well on the right spot. Okay, so that's how this is all potentially going to be applied. And so I should talk about how to set one up, I guess, which is I don't know how to, because that's like a whole video in itself, because there's so many different ways you could do it. But generally, you set it up with throwing like some type of combo, okay? Because it's going to be hard. It's not like it's impossible, but it's going to be hard to just initiate with that lead hook, especially when you're not that good, okay? When you're still beginner. So you set it up. You can set up with a 1, 2, 3, or you set up with like a body shot down below with your right hand. Like a good one might be a straight to the solar plex kind of area. So you might jab up top, straight to the solar plex, and then come up with that the lead hook up top. And also what you can do is, like I mentioned, doubling up the lead hook, but you can also do one lead hook down below and then one up top, or one up top and then one down below again to the liver. And liver shots are difficult to deliver. They can be anyway, and they can be a bit risky to deliver. But when you I really suggest practicing those and learning how to incorporate the lead hook to the body, to the liver, because that's like, I don't know if you guys get hit by a liver shot, but the first time I did, I went down, and it wasn't even that hard of it. I was like, I didn't, because I'd never experienced that before. It's like, oh shit, like, man, that sucks. Oh god. It's like, seriously. I didn't know you got hurt that hard, and I thought we were light sparring type shit, you know what I mean? But whatever. Then you take a few breaths, and you'll be fine in like a few minutes. But yeah, like it takes a lot of the other person. Like I said, it affects the breath and everything, and it tires it, wears them out. And so and then for a lot of reasons, you can win based on body shots, like it's like chopping down the tree. Like, you take the bottom out first before you go to the top. That's what a lot of people said. But conversely, you can work upstairs a bit, and then all of a sudden one comes down below that, boom, right to the liver. Ouch. So that's what I recommend. Again, just go to that combo bag, orient yourself a little bit on an angle to the right of it, and just, you can throw slip ones, you can go just ones. Sometimes like slipping and then throwing the hook is good, because you got your whole body into it. But sometimes that telegraphs a little bit too much. Sometimes it's best I find just to not telegraph and just throw that lead hook without telegraphing. That makes sense. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much what I'm gonna talk about with the lead hook. But again, because it's up there, it's like a jab. Like the jab is your hand's really close to their face, right? Well, the lead hook, that lead hand is closer to their face. So when you're able to throw that lead hook and connect fast, bam, it's going to be one that you'll win your sparring matches. It'll take you from a beginner to an intermediate, or even an intermediate to more advanced player, if you're able to throw that properly and actually time it correctly and counter people correctly with that lead hook. It's going to do some serious work. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you for watching another one of my boxing theory and practice videos. Peace.